Seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship. The national champions with Jenkins hitting the winner at the buzzer.
Chances are, if you're a former athlete like me, you've done that exact thing. Maybe not in reality, because I haven't done that. I haven't won a national championship game on a last-second shot. But I put myself in that mental space to envision myself being there. The question is, why, as a former athlete, did I stop doing that? And chances are, if you're like me, you stopped doing that in certain ways. Why is it that the larger part of our life, we don't always envision ourselves being the best we possibly can be if it's not associated with a sport, even though former athletes are usually some of the most competitive people personally that you're going to meet. Hi, my name is Munchy. I'm a former athlete just like you, and this is the Wash Pod. Welcome to the Wash Pod, an audio and video experience brought to you by former athletes for former athletes looking to stay inspired, challenged, and empowered in life after sports, where we all battle Father Time to put points on the board and define our prime. Let's get to work.
Where you at?
In the gym.
In the gym.
Hey, he can put
Only
the ball
place he
down
be
for a
at.
little bit. For a little bit.
He in the gym.
In the gym.
Oh, then he bored you.
He cleared you. He
And then
cleared you.
Got the whole family there. You already know.
Hey, seriously though, when was the last time you've been cleared, man? When is that last time?
Just a second ago. Look like
just a minute ago, right?
Talking about. We just all saw it.
Man, no, my wife do that to me all the time, man. She'll be in the store, clear me, man. But no, man, I want to jump in. Munch, obviously, what did we come up with a name there? Is the Wash Pod? Is that what you centered on?
Hey man, y'all shot down on my other options.
Yeah, 'cause all your other ones was like crap. I'm like, what is Derrick on, man? Is it? Hey, that was the old and washed up pre-workout, wasn't it?
Hey,
He was on it. He was on it.
Hey, I was on one. Hey, I got the TV on. Let me turn the TV on.
Man, turn the TV off, man. We about to work. We about to get this work.
Yeah, man.
Hey, don't act like I ain't been packaging stuff.
I know, man. I see you, bro. One of the hardest working dudes I know. But nah, we gonna
Once
go.
you got the hoodie on.
We gonna go with the Wash Pod because, and I should have worn my shirt because, man, I understand and appreciate what you guys are doing with that, man. So, hey, before we jump off, speak to the old and washed up initiative for our future audience, man. Once this goes out, like, what are you guys trying to accomplish with that?
I'll let Munch do it. He put it so eloquently. He always put it so eloquently.
And bottom line is, guys got to keep competing with themselves. Guys and girls, people that used to be athletes, we're always going to identify as athletes. Like, you approach everything in life the same way. The only issue is after you're done, you don't really get to keep score the same way. So really what we're trying to do is give people tools and resources to be able to do that in a way that speaks to them and remains authentic to people being competitors in life in every area. So that's really the best way to put it.
Man, Derrick, DB, if you was right on one thing, he was gonna put it way more eloquent than you, bro.
You already know.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But so no, I want to really all jokes aside, like, introduce ourselves because I mean, you brothers are brothers of mine, man. But more importantly, what you guys are doing in your professional lives is impressive, right? Because we grew up in an area where if you look at how we grew up, where we grew up, it would have been a built-in excuse for a lot of us to be like, no, we're gonna go a different route with our lives, man. And so I've always looked up to you brothers from afar, and you know what I'm saying, when you were here locally with what you're doing professionally in your lives. So tell everybody what you guys do real quick before we jump in.
DB, you gonna go first?
I'll let you go first, Munch.
Okay. I work for the Department of Defense professionally. Best way to describe it, the way I describe it to people is I run a geek squad for towed artillery equipment within the Army National Guard, Navy, and Marine Corps. So towed artillery is, if you don't know what it is, it's just like really big guns. And we run all the logistics behind their parts support, their maintenance support, training. We don't really train soldiers, but we train them on the equipment. So like you go to Best Buy for the geek squad, you come to us for all Army National Guard towed artillery equipment. So We got guns that shoot 25 some odd miles away, some that shoot as short as 10 feet if you got to. So that's what we do. That's what I do by day, but then by night I'm building this, and then just coaching and whatnot on the side.
Man, that's amazing, man. I like one thing about Munch, man. DB, when I first met Munch, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I was jealous how high of an intellect he had, man. And I don't know about you, even when he was explaining what he does, I'm like, man, that's well above my pay grade, man.
Nah, man.
Thank God for people like Munch, man. Because I don't know, Derrick, I was kind of lost in when he was explaining it. I'm like, man, he using all those big syllable words. And I'm like,
all I can think of is Lil Wayne. I got army guns. That's
right. There you go.
Like that's all that went through my mind. I got army guns.
Straight up, we do.
He explaining the Geek Squad. I'm like, I got army guns.
Yeah. Hey, from now on, Munch, you gotta explain it like that.
Better
I got army guns. You seen that? Yeah, I was just playing a Lil Wayne clip. Army gun.
All right, DB.
All right. First and foremost, father of 2 free young black boys, Jackson and Drake. But by the day, like all of us, full-time gig. I run 10 banks, about $1 to $2 billion in assets.
Wow.
Just living life from Brown Street. Let's go. 1210.
Brown House. Hey, let's go.
Up the street from Harrington Park. Jefferson, where you at? Selo, where you at? North High, where you at?
I love it, DB. Nah, man. Like, so I run a State Farm agency here locally. Love what I do, love what I get to do. But I also run a coaching and consulting business where I help entrepreneurs just really think more of themselves and get rid of some of those limiting beliefs that hold us back, right? And that's one of the things why I felt like, we should do a podcast, because, I follow what you guys post and I follow the message, right? And I follow what Munchie, what you read. You don't even know this, but you inspired me. You and DB inspired me to start reading, because I hate reading. I hate it with a passion. But I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, you guys, it's like you was in a battle of posting which audio books you were reading. And I'm like,
real deal.
I was like, man, they posting a new book every 2 weeks. Let me just finish the one. And so, you guys don't know, the message and what you guys are doing is so inspiring. So we need to just try to reach as many people, because, like you said, you're from Brown Street. There's somebody else growing up on Brown Street right now that needs to hear your message, that needs to hear your story, right?
No
same thing in Rock Island. There's people out there that need to hear your story. So hopefully this podcast can reach that audience, right? And we can help, just be real, authentic, and inspiring to people, so more people can run banks. The thing about young black kids, I think, in our area, not just in our area, across the world, is that we get pigeonholed to thinking that we're just gifted in athletics.
Right.
Right? That's all we could do. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that's accurate? I mean, I know you don't think it's accurate, but don't you think that athletes sometimes, or black kids sometimes, think that all I can do is play sports?
Man, I got a long diatribe, so I'm gonna let DB go.
I feel like I'm gonna keep it 100. Niggas be like, we either could rap, hoop, or be the barber. You'll hear me say that
what was you listening to earlier? 2 Chainz, rapper go
that
to the league.
2 Chainz, right? Rapper go to the league, like we is, like you said, pigeonholed and thinking that's success, or those are the only ways out. And for a lot of us, we better take hold to one of those things to pull ourselves out the rest of the way. But then we could do other things.
Yep. Bottom line. From my perspective, man, I battle this a lot, especially being a coach. And I've been in Michigan for 10 years. I've coached at every level. I mean, as low as 2nd and 3rd grade on up to now coaching in high school, the 12th graders. And really you hit that right on the head, Tim. It takes a lot to have a conversation, because it's so ingrained, especially American culture, right? We see it all over the TV and whatnot, the glorified version of what athletics is supposed to be, right? Quote unquote. But all that is the commercial aspect. So they're selling you something, right? They ain't telling you the truth behind, what it takes to become one of those guys. And even then, one of those guys is still just an entertainer, right? They don't talk about sports in that light. So you get inserted into this system where nobody's saying, hey, do you, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to bash anybody that's playing professionally, but if you pitched it this way, do you think that you would take to sports the way you did? If somebody said, hey, do you want to be a clown? You want to work as a clown?
Mm.
Would you be like, oh yeah, I want to be like LeBron? Not saying LeBron's a clown, but they're entertainers, right?
Wow. Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? So what I'm saying is like when you start talking about sports and not include the entertainment piece is where it starts getting tricky. Like, what are you really trying to do to do to these kids, right? You're not really talking to them about what it really is. Now, can you get a lot out of sports? Absolutely. But I think the fundamental issue is that our kids look at it like it's the end all be all, when really, you know, even the best play to their 40 and you got 50 years to live. So, you know, it's a difficult thing to have a conversation with a kid because you're combating every other angle of how they're getting pitched whatever sport they're interested in, right? Which is all about commercialization and how they can make money off the sport. It really doesn't have anything to do with the craft or the athlete themselves. It's about, hey, how can we sell this at the highest level?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And Tim, you know what I heard? A hater.
Okay,
Just hating on these kids' dreams.
I'm hating.
Tim,
I'm hating.
He just hating on these kids' dreams.
Or I'm hating because I ain't making and I'm not getting paid to play.
No, but if you think about that, I think that, right, like some people probably would view that as hating, right? Like, you know, you are trying to kill my dream.
Right.
And I think that would be a flawed perspective because what percentage of people make it in professionally in athletics?
We don't want to talk about them numbers.
Right. So what percentage of people like professionally make it? I don't have that statistic. I know it's very, very small.
Yeah, you talking about like a percentage. If you start with the number that start at 5 and play, and then the percentage, it's like a half of a percent. You know.
And so my issue though is those people that don't make it, they have amazing gifts.
Absolutely.
So who is responsible?
Well, sorry, let me cut you off.
No,
just fundamentally, right? I want to dig at something.
Okay.
What does it mean to make it?
That's good.
Hey, what does it mean? What does that mean?
You ask me, I flipped that scholarship and I make over $100,000 every day.
So this is what I'm getting at. Like, what does it mean to make it? So if I put a jersey on professionally for one day, did I make it?
Right. Wow. That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? But
because I would say you did make it.
If you talk to a kid and you ask them to define who made it, they ain't gonna point out the dude that ain't on the roster no more.
You just a sucker.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, hold on.
Yeah, so to me, that's why it's so important to have these conversations. Because,
yeah, absolutely.
Because here's the deal, like that kid you're talking about, the person that put on the jersey.
Come here.
Okay. My idea of making it now that I'm a little older, 36, got a very large family. What's up? What's up? My idea of making it is what generational wealth am I creating for my family?
Hey.
Okay, so what can I pass down that's mine? What can I trademark? What copyrights? What can I give my family that's mine that nobody can take away from them? And so I'm not there yet, but that is my idea of making it. I want to get my kid, I'm gonna be real. Nepotism, yes, let's go. If I build a business, 100%, I want my kids to take over. I don't care if you're more qualified than them. They're going to run my business.
Yep.
Right? Because that's why I'm working as hard as I am. So the people that have problem with nepotism, I'm like, you complaining, go build some, like create nepotism within your family.
Yep.
And so that's my idea of making it. What you think, DB? You're muted still, brother. You muted.
Hello. My back.
Yeah.
I said, I got a problem with nepotism because it is institutional racism at its finest, but I know what you're talking about. But we're not gonna get there today. We're not just gonna jump in.
Wait, but it's only institutional racism because they own it. So
yeah,
what
exactly.
y'all saying the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. But the way they
built
built
the owner,
but the way they built it and the way they started it was on the backs of people who couldn't own and it was illegal to own.
Yeah. So
we'll hit that on a different day. Let's hit that like.
No! You already said it.
Dive into the hole.
So now we gotta dive into that. Now we gotta unpack that because here's the deal.
I'm always ready for the institutional racism.
Yeah. So you're right. That's a problem. Right? And so what are we gonna give energy to? Because here's the thing. Like I meet with a bunch of people and we talk about institutional racism. We talk about racism as a whole. in corporate America racism. I know there's a bunch of companies that got blasted this past year, right? So us as a people, I think if we give too much energy to the problem, we're not going to go anywhere. What would it look like if we change our perspective and say, hey, let's give energy to the solution? And I don't know what you're supposed to build, but I'm saying that like you have gifts and you have abilities that if you took a risk and you took a chance, that maybe you could build something for your family that you could pass down to them. But why do you think we don't take risks or we don't take those chances?
Because a lot of us like got to turn the lights on and make sure that kid get fed. It's like, you ever see what is it? Happiness, the Will Smith Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Pursuit of Happiness.
Like he took the chance and he in McDonald's and they homeless and shit, right? And he ends up passing the series test. And you're supposed to believe like, oh my God, like I see a bad that work a job during the day. Like you can't be sleeping in a bathroom. Like that's too big of a chance. He failed that test or he don't get that job. Like they homeless forever. You don't never. Hey, ain't no movie for all the people homeless forever. So I think when we start at a situation where we don't have the safety net or the built up infrastructure where we can take the chances, where Molly, Sue, John, or whoever, like they take a chance, they live with their dad and their family home, and they just gotta live in the basement for another couple years. We take the chance and we could be homeless. You take the chance and you still in the hood. Like that's a different chance.
No, I'll be real with you. I'm gonna be transparent on this podcast. Like at 24 years old, when I met my now wife, we came home from a date, bruh, and eviction notice was on the door. Like I had a car. If you started in North Davenport, you heard it in West Davenport.
Yeah,
I'm being real. Like so, when I went to go apply for a loan for my first car, I promise I thought they were calling the police. My credit score was so bad. I'm just being real. Like so, at what point do you say, you know what? I'm gonna take ownership of my situation, and I may fail. I may not make it out. But at what point do you take ownership of that situation and you say, you know what, I got to try something?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of an uphill battle because you're talking about personalities and different skill sets, right? Like, I don't believe everybody's going to be an owner of a business. I don't believe so. But I do believe that you can. You should try to own something. I do agree with that, 100%. But I also believe that a lot of that has to do with how you're brought up and how you learn and how you're taught to learn, right? So like if our educational systems are based on, learning how to be employees, and they're not teaching you how to go find information, how to go apply that information in new ways. So it's a little bit of a layered discussion. Absolutely. But I think fundamentally, like you're right. People should try to own stuff, especially over a period of, a couple generations. You should be shooting to own stuff. So if you ain't the owner, you should put it, you should be the employee that gets to the point where you got enough of a base to pass down. So then they could have that cushion that Derrick was talking about, which is kind of like my parents are first generation of having that ability to pass things down. And I'm looking at it like I'm super lucky, but all my white friends getting, 20s and $30,000, $40,000 to buy their first house, or outright their parents bought it cash. You know what I'm saying? My parents are like, look, I can't give you the down payment, but I can make sure that, XYZ is taken care of to take that off your plate. Right. And that's if you really like unpack most people's families, that's how it happens. The good stories or the crazy stories you hear about are the guy that like you said, or the Pursuit of Happiness type, where it's a dramatic thing. But the more likely case is it's a period of generations where this was built off of that, this was built off of that, and then somebody took a risk based on the fact that they had protection, and then they built that.
Whose responsibility is it to break that cycle?
Right. I said so on the individual level. I think individuals, you take a chance. Someone's gonna have to take a chance, right? So individually, you're gonna be responsible for yourself. Like that, I tell the boys all the time. Ain't no one fucking saving you. Like no one's coming to save you, man. You're gonna have to save yourself. So as
straight like that.
Right.
Straight like that.
Right. So individually, you gotta save yourself. But I'm just saying, as a aggregate, like when people say, or the stereotype is like, Black people need to pull up by their bootstraps or whatnot. Like when you set in a deficit, it's just not a real life thing.
Yeah.
But individually, if I was talking to someone individually, like, no, fam, they're not saving you. Joe Biden, whoever you think is saving you,
they're not doing it.
They're not doing it, fam.
They're not doing it at all. And I'm not even. And don't hear me when I say to pull yourself up.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Because I hate that message. However, what I do want people to understand is, and just for me in my life, when I started taking ownership of my situation, successes and failures, I feel like I stopped giving people power over me.
Right.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And it's freeing to know.
And I would say, yeah.
Yesterday, I had a terrible day. I took ownership of it. I didn't follow through on some things I was supposed to follow through on. Therefore, people got mad. I gotta take that on the chin. But when you take ownership of things, I just feel like you stop giving people power over you.
Yeah.
But if I'm dependent on you to come save me or to come rescue me, to come get, like, then now I feel like you have power over me.
Yeah. And if I could, to tie that back to athletics, that's why I love athletics, man. I love sports because sports is giving you that ability to find that out about yourself. Like, ain't nobody make you a better jump shooter other than you. And if you can't shoot at the end of 3 years, that's your fault. Like, niggas now they can't shoot free throws. It's because you don't shoot free throws, dog. Like, that's just what it is. You know, like, you can't really blame nobody else but yourself.
Yeah. And I'll finish off by me saying, like, y'all know me. I ain't here for that. I'm gonna save myself, fam. I'm Derrick Beecham. I'll let you know. I've been let you know.
For sure.
Saving you?
That's on my chest, fam.
Hey, what did they tell you?
I got it.
What did they tell you in the airport? Put the oxygen mask on who first?
You gotta put it on yourself first.
You gotta put it on yourself first. So, but you literally, you got people that like are trying to save other people when you're not saving you. And I promise you, like, if I'm to the point of my life, hear me, like, I care for people, but if the relationship isn't reciprocal, I don't want no part of it.
Yep.
I just don't, because energy costs money. And if I'm giving all these resources and energy and time and attention and it's not reciprocated, then I'm gonna have a problem with that.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, no, this is awesome, man. Ooh, wait. So,
hey, let me hit a real quick story time for Munch.
Okay.
This, hey, Tim was mad at me for this. But
oh man.
So we in the huddle. Me and Tim, for everybody who don't know, me and Tim played on the same basketball team in high school. So we probably at one point in this game was down, what, 15-20, Tim?
Yep.
Against Burlington?
No, it was against Bettendorf.
Was it Bettendorf?
Yeah, it's against Bettendorf.
Okay. So I done brought us back. Like, Tim was hot. Tim could play, so I ain't taking nothing away. But the coach, our coach always doing the most. We done lost Munch, or he done went.
Oh, there we go. My bad.
He can call.
So Rios, JD Rios set up this play, right? He said, Derrick, you gonna be the decoy. We gonna get it to Tim. He gonna ISO and he gonna take the shot. Hey, I'm 18. I don't know no better. I want to say this right now. At 18, I don't got the emotional intelligence to understand like how teams work, right? I know at 8, give me the ball, coach. Bombers championship, right? So we get in the huddle, he draw up the play, boom. We lead the huddle, I call a huddle. Give me the ball. Tim, 17, he's just looking like, is he serious right now? Yes, dead ass. Wave him off, bing, bing, bing. I missed that shot. Hey, I ain't gonna act like, hey, this ain't no movie, fam.
Hey, no, right. He missed it, but what was amazing is the level of conviction, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no doubt in my mind that DB was making that shot.
Right.
When he missed it, I was mad. But if he made it, I would have been like, hey, man, but like, man, for real. But here's the thing. I want you guys, let's jump into the topic because it was so good. Of just rating yourself real quick on the 4 things that you sent over, Munch. You sent over the physical wellness, the mental and emotional wellness, social and relational wellness, and then financial and professional wellness. I think that's very important. Now, why do you think it's important to rate those things?
Because that's really what makes up life in my mind. If you want to look at yourself as a person, that's the most objective way to look at. If somebody asked me who I was and what I'm what I'm looking at as a person holistically, how to break that down, right? Because some elements of me are, my physical attributes and what I got to deal with on a day-to-day basis in that regard. Some things are the mental side of the emotional side and how I respond to, like you said, how do I respond to adversity or situations right there that has to do with my mental stability or wellness or emotional wellness. And then social or relationally, like we're right now talking as friends, as former athletes, as parents, as contributing members of our respective communities. All of that contributes to why we're able to come on here and talk the way we're talking. And if you don't pay attention to that, things could go, I guess, go south. And then lastly, just financially, I think it's a good thing because I don't think, especially in the Black communities, there's a lot of financial education going on at a low enough level, early enough, especially for athletes, that say they want to make all this money, but they don't know nothing about money. It's like, so wrapping that all up into, if best case, if somebody asked me, hey, how would you better prepare yourself looking back on what you didn't get coming through sports that you did get through other means, you just didn't know it, and now you do know it? That's what it's about. I was raised coming up around a bunch of adult Black men that were all professionals in their own right. They all had families in their own right, but they were all different people, right? And so when I broke down, like, okay, how would I describe them and what differences they had and what did I learn from them, there's a little bit of all of those areas that I did grasp from those people. And then the gaming aspect of it is the entertain. Like that's the part that, like, when I started this and said, started off, you asked me about describing old and washed up. I had a way longer answer about a couple months ago when me and Derrick did this the first time. But the bottom line was, hey, how do I continue to compete with myself? I think as athletes, we're conditioned to follow numbers, right? Even, look at video games. If you play,
I'm gonna pause you real quick though, Munch, because
go ahead.
And I want everybody to listen to this, man. Notice he didn't say compete with everyone. He said, how do I compete with myself?
How do I compete with myself? Yeah.
I just wanted to say that again because I feel like we're in a world where everybody competes with other people, and honestly, it's becoming cliche. But man, seriously, you got to compete with you and be better than you were. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So man, I just sorry I didn't want to interrupt you, but that was just
no. You're good. You're good. That's a great point. And like just to jump off where you were at right there, just competing with yourself, and what does that mean? Like, because you could leave that as just that statement, and then all of us are going to digest that differently, right? Mm-hmm. Depending on what we got going on in our lives, where we're at, but trying to boil it down to the commonality between all of us, and that's those four elements: is we have some sort of physical attributes, mental, emotional attributes, social, relational attributes, and a financial component that encompasses what you're talking about, ownership. I'm working a job. We're both trying to build businesses. All of that has finances built into it too. None of it can happen. You can't have that ownership or the generational wealth if you don't understand finances. So really just trying to gamify that concept of how, if I say compete with myself and I'm an athlete that came up, I guarantee you Derrick could tell you how many points he averaged his freshman year in basketball. Or, I know my best game is a certain number of points, assists, rebounds, I can rattle them all. But if I ask you, yo, bro, how much more mentally or emotionally stable are you now than you were at 21? It's a very subjective answer, right? So it's hard to say I'm competing, right? You guys have people that work for you. How do you assess somebody if I don't have an objective way to do it, right? And so if you're talking about competing with yourself, you need some concrete, yes, I got better, no, I didn't. Or yes, I did this, no, I didn't. It can't be giving yourself wiggle room, right? And so that's what that's about.
You need something where you're able to keep score. Right?
Absolutely.
If I hear you saying that correctly. And these four areas are important to keep scoring on. And I'm gonna be honest, DB, when Munch sent these over, I almost didn't have a podcast, bro. Because when I had to self-reflect and then like be real with me about some of these areas, like, because I'll just rate myself on physical wellness right now. I'm a 4. That's what I rated myself, scale of 1 to 10. Why? Because I'm like, I feel like I get sick more. I feel like I have to rely on coffee and not having natural energy more than I ever have. It's because I'm the heaviest that I've ever been right now in my life. You know what I'm saying? So when you sent that over, I appreciate it because now I was like, dang, man, I got to be honest with myself. I had to write that boy down. Physical wellness, 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I kicked this off. That's what I'm rating myself on the first topic, a 4.
I like it. I like it. Derrick, you want to go?
Man, you already know. I always say, first off, be kind to yourself. Munch, no, I'm gonna tell everybody. Always be kind to yourself. G. Always be kind to yourself. No, what was it? Physical healthiness was first.
Yeah, first.
So I rated mine, a 7 because I'm trying to get those abs back this summer because your boy always trying to be like, what? Huh?
Bro, I'm gonna need you to.
I thought it was a shirtless party.
Man, I'm gonna need you to stop lathering up on Instagram though, bro.
That's my natural. That's natural. Just as that.
You be lathering up on the ground, man.
Hey, it's funny you say that because I ain't did it for a while. Someone hit me.
On it.
Matt was like, "Hey, thanks, fam. You stop putting that is my sweat activator on?" He said, "You stop putting that sweat activator on." I said, "Whoa. I just ran out. I'm making a new batch this weekend. Don't feel like I stopped. I just ran out."
Oh man, you wild, bro. Hey, no, I love it.
A hardcore Brown Street, but he glossy.
Hey,
what? Like,
so you were 7 months. Where you at?
I think I'm about I would say probably like an 8, man, to be honest with you. I feel better than I probably ever felt, other than a few areas that, just nagging injuries and stuff like that. Now I would say 7. And I say that because, like, if I had to go run right now, I run maybe a half mile and be done. So that's something that I've always dealt with and avoided, right? But it is something that I think as you age, cardiovascular health is way more important than, the stuff that we tend to focus on. So probably a 7 for sure.
Oh, so that's what's up. So this is, again, for an audience, and hopefully this will inspire our listeners. What will you say to people? Like, what does it take to improve that? Like, so if somebody out there is a 4 like me.
Tim, I got Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
Oh man, you got Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
Kyle, man, where you at?
I'm in the gym.
Where you at? Look, what you mean? You supposed to be on the pod. You on the pod.
I'm in the gym. I know you're in the gym.
Hey, where you at?
Literally just walking out the gym.
I told you. I already know.
But hey, tell him he can jump on remotely.
We knew where you was at.
I already knew where he was at.
I knew where he was at too.
Everyone knew where you was at. You only need 2 places: at the house or at the gym.
Right.
That's it.
Who you bringing with you? Who all at the gym with you?
It's just me and KJ.
Oh, just you and KJ, not the whole family?
Tell him KJ driving. Tell him to jump on right now.
Hey,
Look,
Tim said jump on right now.
hey, my family don't like going to the gym with me, man. They say I be in there too long.
You be in there all day. Of course they don't want to
You
go
probably
out.
got there at 9. It's 12:30. They right.
When you get to the gym?
I think I like 10.
10. He said
You know
10.
what I'm saying?
2.5 hours. When
2.5
you going back?
hour workout.
So I may go, see, we got it in the works. I got supposed to get a haircut at 3. So we may go back about 3:45, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Just to get some shots up, though. Nothing serious. Just to get some shots.
Just get some shots up. Man, tell him to go to the group messenger, get the login, jump on. He got Zoom on his phone.
Hey, Tim said you got Zoom on your phone and the login on the group messenger. He planning on
Tim
seeing-
shooting.
Is
Tim
KJ
shooting
driving?
down all excuses.
No, I'm driving.
He driving.
Oh,
Not
he
KJ
driving. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm saying
safety
he driving
first.
now.
So tell them to
Safety
pull over,
first.
tell KJ to drive, and jump on the pod.
Tell him to pull over.
I got Zoom on my phone. I
You-
know for sure. I
Hey,
got Zoom.
hey, get on the Zoom.
Get on the Zoom, right?
All right, he gonna get on the Zoom.
Hey, so that's what we do for our audience, man. We hold each other accountable, man. And Derrick did this with me because he kept tagging me in posts. Pod this Friday.
I just wanted to know. I was just wondering how many posts equal a pod.
I'm like,
Six.
yeah, well, I don't know
was
why
like
he kept doing me like
25.
that. Hey, but listen though, back to what we were talking about. Like, so I believe in talking in areas that like I know a lot about, right? Physical wellness is not something that I do a very good job of. You guys do. So somebody like me that's a 4, there's a lot of people out there that are going to listen to this. I may rate themselves a 4 or 5. give themselves a substandard score. What do they gotta do?
Tim, if you a 4, I know some 3s and 2s and some 1s.
Hey, that's all about to say, bro. Like,
yeah, well, I'm not mad at my 4. I'm gonna be real.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, you was acting like I'm a 4, but there's probably some other 4s. There's some other 4s. There's a lot of 4s.
Yeah.
Hey, you let me break you, I'll be like,
so for 2 guys that I've watched over the last couple years, just really take their fitness to the next level. And like their discipline in this area to the next level, like what advice would you give people that may be struggling with that, like me?
First and foremost, define. Go ahead, Derrick. Go ahead. My bad.
Okay. I think the first thing is wake up and do it. Like I can't like function if I don't work out because I'm a worse person. I'm not even gonna front. Like if I don't get a workout in of some kind for at least 25 to 30 minutes. I'm a bad person because I'm tired. I'm more tired. I don't got the energy and I'm more irritable.
Okay. Yep. I feel that.
Yep.
We ex-athletes. So our body is trained and your body trained too that like it needs, to go run.
But I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like y'all was athletes. You know what I'm saying? I was just decent. Y'all was like, I never forget. There was a dude, I ain't gonna say his name because he might listen to the pod. We was playing over at Assumption. It was me, a couple other guys. Y'all know these people, and this dude went on a fast break. And I didn't really know Munch like that. I just knew the Musket Valleys was just like athletic. And this dude was about 6'4". We had Assumption High School. He in a clean fast break. Munchy goes out of nowhere. Dude went up, and like at the highest point in the square, here come Munch. That's when I knew I gotta stop playing pickup basketball. I was like, okay, let me just focus on insurance. You know what I'm saying? I was
hey,
different.
Hey.
Like, I'm like, how in the world did he just jump that high? Like it was, and you was like that too, DB. So
you gotta focus on insurance, Sam.
Focus on insurance, man.
Let me start calculating.
Seriously, man. I was like, man, that was just impressive. So, but y'all was athletes, and people really could use this message from you guys. Like physical wellness, I agree, is important. Right? Like, I get tired really fast because I'm not in a good space in my physical wellness. So for somebody like me, what are the steps I need to take tangibly to improve that?
I think first and foremost, you gotta, how old are you?
36.
36. What's the average life expectancy?
Is that JoJo?
It's JoJo.
Is that JoJo? Yeah. Hey, what up, JoJo?
Yeah. So what's the average life expectancy?
Yeah. For people like us, for Black people. Yeah.
So I don't know it by race. I should, right?
What would you guess? What would you say?
Probably mid 70s.
So let's say 76.
Okay.
Round number. 40 years. Over 40 years. And there's actually a YouTube clip that I really I'm gonna send your way. But everybody's gonna have some sort of progression up physically, and then a peak, and then some sort of progression down. And the rate of that decline is dependent on how well you take care of yourself, whether or not you have some sort of disease come upon you, whether or not you get injured, whether or not you mentally just check out and say whatever, right? So I look at it like, I got a long time to live. You got kids. We all got kids. I hope you want to be around for your kids, and you don't just want to be there like in a wheelchair. If you can, prevent that, or in a hospital bed or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You want to live a well life. You don't want to just get old and be miserable while getting old, right? It's just like, look, if you're gonna live life, why not be healthy while you're doing that, right? If not for you, and I got this from my dad recently, actually, because he's been borderline diabetic and been battling with it, actually just kind of acting like it didn't happen or it wasn't there for about the last 10 years. But about the last 5 years, his approach to it changed drastically because of my daughter. Because now he's got a granddaughter, and he's like, oh, you see that cycle of life start over, and you see yourself keep going, and people keep getting younger, and you're like, I might not be here. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not liking the fact that I can't get up and, walk across the room without getting tired or stuff like that. So some of the stuff he spoke to, it's a hard question to really answer, but it's more about life is meant to be lived long. Why not live it well? That would be my bottom line. And then go from there. If you can agree that I want to live well, go from there.
Yeah, that's a bar. He said,
wait a minute.
Uh-oh. 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 Oh, he didn't connect to the audio.
Oh, we just got audio or what?
He's
got audio.
He gonna figure it out. He gonna figure it out. Nah, but
Hey, and then all right, if I could just piggyback a little bit. So that's the
hey,
like, is he on?
We on.
We on.
We live?
Oh,
KL 13. I see him.
His audio ain't working though. His audio. The audio ain't coming on.
But not like the second part of that is also, if you pay attention to healthcare, it ain't cheap. So if you care about money and you care about owning a business and you care about having the ability to take care of kids, your health is probably the most critical thing you can do to control your ability to have the financial positioning and backing to be able to do that.
Right, there he is. I got the audio.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, yeah, I got it now.
Oh, you see the hoodie? You see the hoodie?
Hey, what up?
You see the hoodie? I'm the only one that don't got the hoodie on.
That's nothing.
I'm the only one that don't got the. Hey, but listen to me. Hey, listen. We gotta refer to him on the pod. You know what I'm saying? As what was his name? The Black Cobra.
Black Cobra.
Black Cobra.
Hey, yo, Kyle's fine, man. Just Kyle's
No, sir. When you averaging 45 overseas, man, that name is cemented now.
Black Cobra.
Some people got some nicknames that shouldn't have no nicknames. You ain't do nothing to deserve it.
Man.
That's a different
good to see y'all, brothers, man. How y'all doing, man?
Well, man. Good to see you.
Doing really well, man. Getting to it, man. We talking about hey, since you jumped on, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Because Munch sends out a great topic. How would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
And we know Kyle didn't read none of the
these
topics.
4 areas. Number 1 is physical wellness. So Kyle, how would you rate yourself? Physical wellness.
Physical wellness right now, 1 to 10, I say I'm probably about an 8.
By 8?
Hey, there we go.
About an 8.
That's what's up. So Kyle, I'm gonna tell you what. I told everybody I'm a 4 right now. You know, I'm a 4. You know, but hey, I'm as
Derrick's an 11. Hey, did you see? When
an 11.
Derrick work out,
I'm a 7.
an 11.
Hey, DB an 11 when he lather up, but unlathered up DB, he only a 8. I think the lather gives DB an extra 3 points.
You know what? I might need to try the lather, man. See if I can get my 2 points back.
What? You see my man on the video, like.
Hey, I'm lathering today for y'all, just for you, slow motion.
Hey, DB be putting the lather up. Hey, so
hardcore Brown Street, but he glossy.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. No, for real though, this has been love, man. So okay, let's go to the mental and emotional wellness side, like, because I think this is so important. This is where I would rate myself, probably an 8 here.
Okay.
And the reason being is that, man, I've been on this real self-awareness kick for so long. And so I'm very aware of my inefficiencies, my faults, the things I don't do well. And so I take ownership of those things. And that's what I meant earlier when I said, when you are really aware of what you don't do well and you take ownership of that, growth can happen. Now, that doesn't mean that DB can't call me and say, hey, Tim, you struggling in this area, I'm not going to listen.
Right.
But I always try to self-reflect first, because so many people look for other. I'm gonna be real. There's a bunch of people out here who are affirmation junkies, where they will do things not even because they really want to do it. They just want you to affirm them. And I'm just in a point in my life where, like, I don't care about that. Like, I know who I am, and so I'll give myself an 8 there. Where you guys at?
Well, I'm gonna say I'm at about an 8 too, because so that's one thing my job like kind of helped me out with, just with me being away and me being alone, and like a lot of those nights, and you in a hotel room, you in my apartment, wherever they put me up at, and I'm alone. And that was the first time in my life that I ever felt like anxious, because before, you just as a basketball player, you run in, you jump in, you around your friends, and everything is good because everything's moving a million miles an hour. Once you like alone, so now you kind of feeling anxious. So now I'm the kind of person, I want to get to the root of the problem. What's going on? What's really to me? So I think that probably was about 2013, 2014 is when I actually started to look into why am I anxious and like, what can I do to make it better? So I say I give myself an 8 because that actually helped me reflect and not only see things from my point of view, but from other people's point of view. Yeah. Whatever problems I may be having with my wife, my brothers, my kids, whatever that was, I just try to take myself out of it, put myself in their shoes to see what they looking at. You know what I'm saying? What I did wrong and, you know, what I did that could be perceived wrong and all of that. So that self-awareness that you're talking about, I probably started that in 2015 and stuff like that just from being alone. So right now with me not working and doing all of this good fun stuff, man, it just gave me a different perspective that every day I walk in the house, man, you know, for my workouts and playing pickup, my 1-year-old boy, he gonna run up on me and be so super happy to see my relationship with my daughter's just super dope, you know what I'm saying? And every day I see that, I just be like, I'm rich, you know what I'm saying? Just super rich. Sure. Far better than any dollar amount I could make. I could be gone right now making $1 trillion a minute. But this is really what it's about, you know what I'm saying? To sound, I know it's so cliche and all that, but you can't put a price on that kind of thing, man.
Man, leave it up to Kyle to come late at halftime, dropping 30. You know what I'm saying? He gonna come late, dropping all this value. You know what I'm saying? He gonna show up at halftime and drop 30 and just give all these eloquent answers, man. That's what I'm talking about. That was good, brother. That was good.
Man, appreciate it, man.
Who next?
Go ahead, Munch.
Oh man, Kyle hit on a lot of it. I mean, realistically, like the reason why, like even when we were approaching this, because this is, background behind this. Those topics ain't just something I made up, obviously, Tim. Right. It's actually the structure behind how we're trying to pitch this thing. But Kyle hit on a lot of elements. Like I think some of the things that you learn about yourself through sport aren't necessarily things you need in life after. Like just take like aggression, for instance. I played football and basketball, baseball. All of them require a little different temperament, but you learn a little bit different about yourself. So like in football, like a good thing to be is really super aggressive, but you can't respond that way outside of life. You meet with confrontation or some sort of opposition, or like now you got kids and you can't be hyper aggressive. You got a daughter, like, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I think the only time I started looking at it was when I had a kid, like in depth, I'll say, and really being critical of myself about it, because I think in your kid, you kind of see what you either are or aren't, right? And the longer you're around them, the longer you raise them, especially if you're really spending that critical time around them, like Kyle just described, you can't help but to see like, oh man, I'm tripping, or oh man, I need to slow down a little bit, or I just need to listen, or maybe they're doing something. You're like, man, why am I snapping out like that? Right. Like, okay, So for me, I think I would probably give myself like a 7 now. If you asked me about a year ago, probably like a 5 or a 6.
That's what's up.
But the gift and the curse of the last year for me has been being at home and working from home, and then my daughter being at home the whole time going to school. So I've had to understand that maybe certain areas that were good in like sports or professionally of being aggressive and being proactive and very decisive and direct don't necessarily work all the time when you're dealing with people or dealing with your kids. Yeah. And she kind of brought that out of me and made me reflect on that in the way that Kyle described.
Man.
But yeah, I would give myself a hard 6.
That was deep. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I went first. I'm glad I went first. You know what I'm saying? Because DB, you got to follow Kyle and Munch.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I went first.
Nah, if I had to rate myself right now at this moment, like, because it's always a journey, it's always a moment in time, right? Just with some of the things going on between work and like kids and life, like I probably would say 6, because there's been a couple certain situations that done took me like all the way there, like in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, either something at work or like a kid said something to my oldest son, and now it's gonna happen twice. And I done told, I think Kyle and Munchie, like, I'm ready to get to dad, be like, hey, lucky I ain't got the pistol, fam, because some of this shit just not going. Like, so holding aggression and understanding, like, that's not really like real life way you should solve problems.
Right.
Just understanding, like, from background and like sports and just life in general, like, I know I don't got always the right answer or the way society wants us to solve these problems. And for the best, like how I should be teaching my sons to solve problems, because you can't just punch your problems. But in that same vein, like I'm gonna see B this weekend, Brandon B. I'm like, hey fam, I know you own the boxing gym. You gotta hook me up with a guy up in Des Moines, because Jackson gonna have to put a 2-piece to a couple cats, like because it's already over. All summer you're gonna see me greasing up, and we going to the gym because he got to get his 2-piece game right, because there's a couple out of the pocket, so it could take off my mental health and wellness, the stress on me, that knowing like, hey, they keep coming at him like this, he gonna take him to the back.
Yeah.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
Our audience here at the Wash Pod, we pride ourselves on being authentic, right? And DB about to hit that 2-piece nuggets with a side.
2-piece nuggets with
side
and a shake.
Hey, don't mess with these 2 little boys.
Yeah, no question, bro. Like seriously, me and Kyle had talked on some other stuff about AAU basketball, where I felt like earlier this year there's some things going on with my son that I didn't appreciate, right? So I think that all of us, this scale, once you make it to an 8 and Munch, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's not like you're just always that, right?
No.
You got to be self-aware enough to say, okay, in this situation, I'm like this, but when it comes to my kids, maybe I'm a 3. Maybe because I do have a tendency to fly off the handle a lot faster when it relates to my kids versus if you just talk bad about me.
Right.
When people tell me they don't like me, honestly, I tell them to get in line. There's a long line. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because we just live in a world where not everybody's gonna like you. Right. It's okay. But when you start talking about my kids, that's when it's like it's elevated.
Yeah, that's the protector in us though. Like as a father, like one of our jobs is we're gonna protect those kids tooth and nail, man, with everything we got in us. So whenever we feel just an inkling of a threat, man, we go into that protector warrior mode. Right. And like we all athletes, so we all got that aggression. And once that aggression come out, man, once the Hulk come out, he kind of uncontrollable, man. You kind of got to let some time go down and let him turn back into the human.
Hey, and that's what's been happening.
Bro. I can't let you get away with that, because somebody in the comments is gonna be like, how that dude voiced that deep and he got that little dog,
little baby dog. Canela.
Hey, I'm saying, when we release this bad boy, somebody gonna be on you, bro.
And that's balance personified. Balance.
You see what I'm saying?
Balance
this
right there.
Balance personified. And quiet as it's kept. It looks like a nice dog. Well, she needs to be groomed. But this is a killer. This is a thoroughbred killer from the thoroughbred killer poodle tribe. This is it. Lick your face off right now. Lick your ankles away right now.
Hey, DB, hide your gloss, man. She gonna lick the gloss off, dog.
Descendant of wolves.
Descendant of wolves for sure.
This is good stuff, man. I want to. We got time for one more. And this one is big too, because we're not gonna be able to make it to the financial professional one. I got a 1 o'clock. But the social and relational wellness, guys, like this is where Munch, I'm gonna let you start it out, because I want you to really unpack that. Like, what do you mean by the social and relational wellness?
So I think as humans, really easy. As humans, we need to be connected to people, right? This is why like a lot of people are struggling right now with this COVID situation, where you don't get to connect with people on a genuine level. You're doing it like this, and I love the conversations and what we're doing right here, but it ain't what it should be if we are able to be in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different connection. As human beings, we need that, right? And because of that, I think it's important to be mindful of if you're not. Like, I can't remember the guy that just they said he was a former NFL wide receiver, Vince Jackson. Was it Jackson? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers guy. He said he was in a hotel room by himself for like 3 months, just drinking, and he drunk himself to death. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the reason why you get locked up and stuff like that. People go crazy in solitary confinement because you need that social aspect. You need some sort of relationship, not only with your immediate family, but just with the the community around you. So wherever you're at, you got to prioritize that. So really, all that is saying that is important. You don't necessarily know it because you're always surrounded by people. But if you don't prioritize, you'll find out that it's important the wrong way.
Well, when you put it like that, man, I'm gonna give myself like a 3, because I'll be honest, like, we got a large family, very large, wife, 6 children. Okay. And so I don't always prioritize the needs of others outside my immediate family. Right. And prioritize sacrificing maybe my comfort, because you guys know how it is, man. You go to work, you take the kid to practice, then you get home and you finally sit down, you like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Let me watch the game. So I know I could do a better job in that piece of sacrificing my time and comfort to continue to build relationships with people, like not just you guys, like my bros, because I don't even connect with you guys as much as I should. Just a simple call to check in. Right. I think the business of life gets in the way of that for me, so I'm gonna give myself a 3.
Yeah, I didn't rate myself, so I would say I'm probably like COVID. I'm like a 4 right now. Only person I really talk to on a regular basis is probably Derrick. So just keeping it real. Right.
Yeah, I'll probably rate myself like 8, 9. Like I'm checking in. I'm making y'all all check in with me, fam.
That's true. That's
like,
true.
I'm not going. Like, hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? Hey, I ain't talked to you in a minute. So it's one of those things. Like when I was at one of my lowest points, I was like, man, one of the things I was missing, I wasn't touching in with my brothers. I wasn't checking in on my people, and I could feel like that was draining me, and that's what made me feel even more alone, even more disconnected. So So making sure I check in, talk to my mom every week, every 2 weeks, go check on grandma, talk to the brothers. They missed the call, I'm gonna call them back. I'm not gonna wait for someone else to call them back if I think it's important. So, and then we all taking folks to practice. We all daddy daycare to practice and sitting in practice, watching practice, grabbing all that. So
no doubt.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for me to rate myself in this because, so as Tim touched on about the family, and then my family even extends further than just my wife and kids, is we have like a whole little tribe thing we do over here where we gonna literally
a whole little tribe. They're like 45 deep over there.
We're deep. We're deep. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way we normally move and operate to everything. So, I probably would have rated myself higher a year ago just because I was, with the COVID thing, now it's got you home and now I'm only interacting with that group, you know what I'm saying? But before a year, my job is interacting with new people, learning people and going from place to place and talking to different people. So a year ago, I probably would have gave myself maybe a 7.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm probably gonna say a 5 just for the simple fact that I'm either training, like you guys said, with me being late to this, I'm either at the house or at the gym. You know what I'm saying? When I'm at the gym, now that Jordan is starting to let groups come back, I'm starting to see different people and talk to different people and things like that. But before, like, I was, the outgoing social butterfly just because my job, called for it. But now I'm just in the house, man, in the house, enjoying this company.
No doubt.
Man, that's good, bro. That's
no
good.
Doubt.
Man, before first episode, right? And Derrick, man, you the boss, man. How often we doing this, bro?
I think we're gonna do it weekly, right? We probably have to find a better time than 12 noon on a Friday, but
My bad. I just threw out a time. Hey, you can tag me on Facebook and say when we doing this.
He definitely called you out.
And then you complain about the time I chose.
I complain. I just said next time we're gonna have to do a different time. I here early?
So we can do it like literally Fridays is my admin day. So like whatever y'all want to do. But seriously though, like I want Munch, let people know how they can connect with the old and washed up movement before we close out.
Best way, go to oldandwashedup.com. You're gonna see a join the team link all over that mug. Click that, enter your information, send it in, and you will be locked in. We got a newsletter coming out pretty soon. Got this stuff, the podcast coming out. We got a lot of stuff we've been stacking up. So get locked in and get with us.
Man, absolutely. So, and I just think the goal, and DB Kyle, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The goal is to bring authenticity. Like all these brothers on this call have a story and had challenges that came up in their lives that they had to overcome, right? And I think that success leaves clues, right? And so we want to share. We want to share some of the intangible things that they did in order to get to where they're at in their life. And hopefully the goal will be that more people will see that, man, there's life outside of just being an athlete, right? I can take these same skill sets, these same behaviors, apply it to a business and find success.
Yep. Or apply it to your family, or apply it to your community, whatever, and find success. Yeah.
Hey,
So Derrick,
wait a minute. We can't breathe past success leaves clues. You know, that was gold. Like,
Bam.
I'm about to get that tatted, man. Like, what? Wait,
Bar.
Message.
Right.
Where Keenan Wayne's at? Where one of those Wayne's at, man?
Message. What?
oh man, y'all wow.
That was good,
go
bro.
us out, man. Final word, final thought.
Me?
Yeah.
On the spot.
On the spot. Final word, final thought.
I mean, I'm out here like 2 Chainz. I'm the first one to say I'm the last of my kind. Let's go.
Man, I love y'all brothers, man. We will connect next Friday at a different time.
Hey, love y'all brothers, man. Peace and love to everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, hold on. Before you go, first, thank you for checking out the Wash Pod. If you found some value in this content for yourself or somebody you know, I want you to do 3 things. 1, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to Old and Washed Up, and click the notification button, please. That's actually 2 things. 2 more things. Go to the website, oldandwashedup.com, click join the team, or send somebody to the website and tell them to click the join the team button so they can get locked into our newsletter and all things Old and Washed Up. And then the last thing, if you have some comments, some questions, whatnot, go to oldandwashedup.com/washpod so you can send us your feedback, your comments, your questions, and we will definitely include those questions or comments in our next episodes of the Wash Pod. Thank you very much. Have a good day.